Okay, so what we have here is the latest Dyson technology, the Dyson Cinetic. It's our latest cyclone technology. Now it all revolves around what we're calling the kinetic science. So taking a step back, sort of 22 years ago now, we sort of revolutionized the vacuum cleaner industry by removing the need for a bag. So vacuum cleaner bags have this fundamental problem that as the dust and dirt went into them, it blocked the pores of the bag and you saw this loss in suction and performance. So almost instantly, the suction could start to drop off and you get less and less efficient cleaning. Now, cyclone technology addressed this by removing the bag and relying on centrifugal forces to spin the air and separate out the dust and dirt that way. Even with that though, both bags and cyclonic vacuums still relied on what we call a filter. So after the bag or the cyclone, there's a small filter that captured all the fine particles, I'm talking sort of mold, spores, pollens and allergens here, that pass through the bag or the cyclone. These filters needed sort of regular maintenance, so they need washing or replacing every so often to maintain the performance. The great thing with the kinetic science is for the first time we have a cyclone that's so efficient we've removed the need for this filter. And we've achieved this by reducing the size of the cone down to such a small diameter that now we're generating high enough centrifugal forces to fling all these ultrafine particles out, and meaning we no longer require the filter. The previous problem with this, and why we couldn't do it before, is as we go down to a very small diameter, you run the risk of these cones blocking. So the clever part to the Dyson kinetic science within these cyclones is we've made these tips of a very soft, flexible rubber. As the air passes through them, the tips vibrate and oscillate at about 5,000 times a second. And this prevents any dust and dirt from sticking to the inside of the cone and prevents the blocking from happening whilst allowing the separation and filtration of these very fine particles. What this really means for the end user is we have for the first time here a machine that will give you the same suction on day one right the way through its entire life to the end of the life of the machine. In effect, we've tested this machine for 10 years worth of household dust and dirt. So 10 years down the line, with 10 years worth of dust and dirt going through this machine, you will still have the same performance, the same suction power as the day you brought it, without any need for maintaining, washing, filters, or cleaning anything. Now, binful after binful, again and again, you're maintaining that suction performance, which means you're maintaining that cleaning performance, and you're cleaning as efficiently every single time you use it. So what we have here is a cutaway of the cyclone, and you can see the soft, flexible tips sort of highlighted in red here. You can also see how small the cone size is and how small the diameter gets down to. So this is what's giving us the filtration, or the ability to separate out those ultrafine dust and dirt particles. And they're mounted on each one of these tiny, tiny cyclones. In total, we've got 34 of these ultra small cyclones in here, doing the job and making sure we're filtering everything out in this stage, the cyclone stage.
See how fantastic it is.
And actually, to give you an idea of the technology, we've got these cones that we pass around to give you, you can feel how sort of soft and flexible they are. We actually spent a lot of time developing this because we need to get exactly the right balance between a cone tip that was soft enough to get the vibrations, but not too soft that it would collapse under the suction sort of thing. So a huge sort of endeavour just for something quite as simple as, a soft, flexible tip.
Getting a workout.
Yeah. Right. I think that's why no one else is volunteering. They're like, you are kidding, it's 10:15 in the morning, I'm not doing any vacuuming or pushing anything around.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Nice back.
So we have a couple of different variants. We have the Dyson Animal variant and the Animal Plus Allergy. Fundamentally the machine's the same, with different sort of colour offerings. The key difference comes in the accessory tools that are supplied with the units. These include one of our latest accessory tools, which is the carbon fibre soft dusting brush. Carbon fibre technology, most people think of sort of the hard resin impregnated stuff that is used in things like the automotive industry. But actually, thinking back, the first time a lot of people experienced carbon fiber was in things like CD lens cleaners or vinyl record cleaners. So very soft, very fine carbon fiber particles that are very gentle and delicate on fragile surfaces. Now we started applying this to our brush bars to help clean sort of hard surfaces, hard floors, highly polished surfaces, and also help dissipate some of the static buildup. What we've done here is applied it to an accessory tool that is great for cleaning things like TV screens, delicate blinds, glass tabletops, anywhere where you want a very soft and delicate touch so as not to damage it, but you want that sort of fine dust removed from the surface. Okay, so obviously all the key technology is housed within it, as you can see from the sort of cutaway. The aim is to capture as much as we can in the first stage, the bin stage, and to help us do that, we have this new very fine metal mesh screen. And what this does is prevents any large but very light particles being carried through into the smaller cyclones. In effect, we want to get as much of the dust and debris separated out in the first stage, the bin stage, which is actually a cyclone. It doesn't look like it, but we've got about a 1.5 degree taper on this. So it is conical in shape, giving us our initial separation, allowing the second stage, these very small cones that you can see from the cutaway, to really focus on the smaller dust and dirt, the ultra fine stuff, giving us the high efficiency and the high levels of filtration. Okay, so what we have here is the latest Dyson technology, the Dyson Cinetic. It's our latest cyclone technology. Now it all revolves around what we're calling the kinetic science. So taking a step back, sort of 22 years ago now, we sort of revolutionized the vacuum cleaner industry by removing the need for a bag. So vacuum cleaner bags have this fundamental problem that as the dust and dirt went into them, it blocked the pores of the bag and you saw this large